What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Guzman's Gridiron, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. Kyle Bennett, Coach Guzman coming at you from the Double Eagle Saloon and Deck Bar here in Vineland, New Jersey. And we're talking after a win, Coach. A big win on homecoming against EHT went down on Saturday afternoon. For the most part, the rain held off, and a 38-0 win is in the books.
It is, Kyle, and you know what? These kids were waiting. It was a long-awaited win for them. Again, they put in the time, and they played a pretty mistake-free football game. So we're very proud as a staff for that to have been the outcome, and also the fact that, you know, the kids stayed the course. They didn't get too high, they didn't get too low. They stayed in the moment, and yeah, very happy for them, and also very happy for the kids of Vineland that the rain did hold off. The rain gods did. They listened to us. They listened to us. They did us a solid, so it was good.
Overall, a fantastic afternoon, you know, from start to finish. Ms. Monogram, the game, everything in between. 38-0, though, against a rival. Feels great. This week compared to last week, what do you feel like offensively changed for you guys, where it did feel like, once again, you were able to move the ball when you wanted to move the ball? There wasn't any like getting stuck in the mud type of situations. There was a lot of fluidity to the offense this week. What do you think flipped from last week against Holy Spirit to this particular game against EHT, where you guys were able to kind of move the ball at will, both on the ground and through the air?
I think what happened was, and I mentioned this the last time we spoke, we really simplified the playbook. We trimmed the fat, and we really just honed in on exactly what is it that our team really does well. And again, in doing that, it showed, the homecoming game against the HT. There was a lot more fluidity to the game. The kids were hunkered in and knew exactly what to do when we asked. If there was any type of audibling, it was caught up very quickly. And again, the assignments, the alignments, and the adjustments that the kids had to make on defense clearly shown, very clearly.
Things got started with a bang. Special teams comes to play. I know Marcelino was probably ready to go out and suit up with that special teams unit after that.
Right.
To hold them to a 3-and-out, and then on that punt, a low snap happens. You guys track it down, get the ball inside the 5-yard line, and punch it in for the 2-yard score with Cephas. Talk about that, where we've talked about it all season long, where special teams can flip the script of a game one way or another, good or bad, and can really set you up for success. How much did that particular special teams play, where it lines your offense up inside, the 10-yard line at the 5, really kind of set the tone for this game too? It's like, here's a golden opportunity. Now go take advantage of what you've been given.
I'll tell you what, can't say enough about Coach Marcelino Ojeda. The gentleman he brings in a fresh vibe for the kids to really gravitate towards, and he knows his stuff. He knows it in and out. Student of the game. Make sure that he always tries to throw different ideas off of my chest and see where I feel about if we can make these certain things happen. And like I said, I give him flexibility. I let Marcelino do his thing. And he's just very meticulous on how he goes about, not only go about situating the kids in their spots, but also what type of attacks are we going to have by way of the front, the linebackers, the D-backs. How are we going to attack, this type of punt formation or this type of, field goal formation? So again, he dots his I's, he crosses his T's, and I'm very excited to have him on staff. And as far as, that opening play being the, that point of wow, okay, we're about to punch this thing now. It was amazing to see them execute it, and then amazing to see us execute on offense and get into the end zone, where the week before in Holy Spirit we had a tough time doing so. So a lot of positives this game. A lot of positives on all phases of the game.
And we'll talk more about the offense, but, we talk about Marcelino and some of these, alumni who are on this coaching staff for you.
Mm-hmm.
Interim DC Ryan Shelton this week, pitching a shutout defensively. We've talked about how he's kind of just been, conjoined at the hip to Coach Smith.
Absolutely.
No hip to be conjoined to this week with Coach Smith out.
Right.
Talk about Shelton's execution of this defense and the game planning that he put in to be ready for a moment like this and to pitch a shutout in his first time running this defense by himself.
I'll tell you what, Coach Ryan Shelton is a film junkie. He's also the type of gentleman that wants to know as much information as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always picking Coach Smith's brain. I think I alluded, to the fact back one of our previous podcasts, I called them Batman and Robin.
Yep.
They really are, man. They're really Gotham City's Batman. I mean, it's nice in that everything that he was taught, again, I say it again, he's a product of our system. Who was the guy teaching him back then? Coach Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the guys that he would constantly call and he's playing semi-pro football as well. So he constantly calls us, tries to get critiques, even when he was in college, me and Coach Smith,
Mm-hmm.
So his defensive mind, as his football IQ is off the charts, man. It doesn't matter offensively, defensively, he knows football. He takes his job very seriously. He's dedicated his job not only to the kids, but to also, venturing possibly into something later on that, might open up for him. So he really dedicates his time. It's a passion of his. And it showed again. It showed very clearly EHT game. He pitched the shutout. It's funny. So I get home and, I'm kind of taking in everything, right? And all of a sudden it's about 9:20 at night. And I'm like, let me send this young man a little text real quick. So I send him a text and, basically telling him I'm so proud of him. He did an excellent job and to keep up the great work. I'm so happy for him to be on staff. And I know he was excited. Like, I know he was. He puts down, thank you, exclamation point, exclamation point. So I know he was revving off his seat. And again, it's nice to have these guys that used to play for us, have the alum come back and now give back to the kids of Vineland that they know that they were given back to at one point, and now they're returning the favor. So kudos to Coach Shelton. Excellent job. I'm proud of you, son.
And it is one of those things, too, throughout the game and, early on that first drive the defense had, not that there hasn't been juice for Coach Smith being back because this defense has been spectacular all season long.
Absolutely.
But you could kind of tell that this defense wanted to perform well for Ryan Shelton.
Absolutely. He has a knack to have them special relationships with, the kids. He knew the kids outside of school, so they know him. They know what kind of work ethic he brings. They know what they expect, what Coach Shelton expects. He puts the bar real high.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids know that. So they don't want to disappoint any of us, let alone people that they know they're working out with in the off season. So, again, my hat goes off to Coach Shelton. Coach Smith was very pleased as well. And we're rolling come this week against Pennsauken. It's going to be nice.
It's very fun. And, Coach Shelton, your defense earned an Allen Associates Player of the Game this week. Ryan Maven. I felt like there was nobody more deserving to have two, almost three interceptions in this game. One goes for a pick six. He was all over the field the entire game. We talked post-game. his vision in this game was spectacular. He was seeing the ball, I think, better than anybody out there, both offensively and defensively. He had arguably the best game of his high school career, and that's why Ryan Maven is our Allen Associates Player of the Game. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belt, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. And whether you're a part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Their family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can now easily learn more and access their services by visiting their brand new website, which is linked in the description, both in audio and on YouTube. So check out their website and join the family and let them help you secure your future. You can also contact them today by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. Big thank you to Allen Associates for sponsoring the podcast all year long and our Player of the Game segment. Let's talk about Mr. Ryan Maven, because
Wow.
what a game. To have the vision, like we mentioned, that he had, almost had an interception on that opening drive, makes up for it, gets an interception on that second drive, and then later on in the game takes it to the house, like 67 yards, I believe, for an interception return for a touchdown. What clicked for him in particular in this game from your guys' perspective as a coaching staff?
Ryan Maven, I've been waiting for a staple game from him. Not just myself, the whole coaching staff. We know what he can do. He's an athlete, straight athlete. Works hard. Again, sticks to all his 3 A's: alignments, assignment, adjustment. Really a student of the game as well, and so much so that. All right, let's backtrack a little bit. So the first interception, which he should have had for a pick six, okay, he comes over to the sideline, and I said, you know what's going to happen, right? He goes, I know, Coach. I'm like, so say it. I owe you one. Yes, you owe me one. You owe me one. Not just me, your teammates. You owe us one, okay? I know what he tried to do was time it up, okay? I said, I know what you tried to do. It's not a problem. Make sure you get it back for us. Fast forward a little bit. What happens? He gets the pick underneath, right? They were trying to throw the ball underneath. There comes Maven, steals it, runs around the edge to the right. All right. Coach, I got that. I said, nah, that wasn't it. The one I'm waiting for is in there, in the end zone. That's the one I'm waiting. All right. And what happens? Quarterback tries to pitch. Gets hit. Beautiful tackle by Julius Wilson. Pitches the ball. Because he studies film, he knew that quarterback last minute always pitches the ball, even if he's getting tackled. Timed it up. The rest is history. 67-yard touchdown. And then he comes over and I said, that was the one. That was it. So very proud of that man. Very proud of him. He's gone through a lot of adversity with his legs. Beginning of the season, he's going to TD, going to Dara, our athletic trainers, and they've nursed him back into great health. And now he's just playing carefree football, man. So I'm very proud of Ryan.
And on top of that, he's flying all over the field, making tackles left and right, and has just been a valuable part of this defense all season long. And for that to come to fruition for him, homecoming in front of the home fans as well, I'm sure he was juiced up about it. He tried to be a little humble in our post-game interview, but I'm sure when he got in the car and was going home, he was airboxing the air and everything, because he had himself a performance on Saturday.
Absolutely. I can tell you one thing, he was definitely elated. He not only did he have the staple game that we've been waiting for, but he also showed other sides, other facets that we know that Ryan is a leader. We know that. But particularly in this game, he really showed that side, a lot more than he has the rest of the year. So he's one of them kids that's going to give you these plays that you're going to be like, whoa, did he just do that? Yeah, he did. And, kudos to Ryan Maven for his performance.
And he is one of those players that, he gets one of those, his swagger levels go through the roof.
Skyrockets.
And then he's going to play with this confident cockiness, which is better than just being cocky.
Yes.
Through the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
And is only going to take that swagger level up and up, and it's going to bounce off the rest of the team,
Absolutely.
which you saw in this game through and through, offense and defense, because whenever the defense did anything, you saw Tank lead that offense out there, and he wanted to match what everything went down on the defensive side of things. Let's talk about Tank, leading this offense, showcased his arm a little bit. Got to be thrilled with what you saw from Tank Powell.
Listen, I say it every week. Tyrell Powell he's the real deal, man. He's not only an athlete, he's a football player. He's a football player against somebody that you can plug and play at multiple positions. He's going to go ahead and do his due diligence. He's going to watch film. He's going to be out there orchestrating as he should. He's going to be out there managing the game as he should. And he's going to make big plays as he should, whether it was in the air, to Mason Afanador, that name comes up regularly, don't it? Or himself running it in. This kid is he is someone that at the next level, again, whoever gets him is going to get a great kid. It's just like the Bosas, right? Everybody wants a Bosa. Well, you better get a Powell, man. Get a Powell, because I'll tell you what, this kid is special. He's special, man.
I got to ask, who on the coaching staff, or is it Tank himself, that's a Jalen Hurts fan? Because it seems like the past couple weeks there's been a hybrid tush-push in the playbook on these short distance yards, and Tank has executed it perfectly every single time. What went into kind of, utilizing that aspect of Tank's rushing ability and using his core strength from his legs to give you guys that advantage on those short distance plays there?
I made it a point this week to talk with the staff, and I let them know, look, rest of the way going in, we're going to go ahead and switch up our conservative play and roll the dice a little more. If you saw that, the EHT game, the homecoming game, I went for it on fourth down, 4 times. Out of the 4, we converted 3. I'll take that any day. Any day of the week, I'll take that. And the one we didn't convert by maybe a yard and a half. And those are sticking points that we're going over with the kids as well. When we're trying to convert a fourth down play, you've got to know where the sticks are. You just have to know where the sticks are, and that's common at any level of play.
Right.
So from us going from more of a conservative style to pushing it, it allows for these kids to also showcase other intangibles that they may have. And wow, what an intangible that is to have, huh? This kid kept his legs going, found the crease, and just converted with no problems. And then next play, let's go, coach. He's just he's a special delight. I'll tell you that much.
You got 31 NFL teams punching air that you guys can convert it, but they can't.
Yeah, but they can't. They can't.
Let's talk about that touchdown pass, too, to Xavion.
Yes.
Xavion finds a perfect seam to run, finds himself in the end zone. Tank just floats that thing.
Perfect.
Just flawless execution on that. Love seeing Xavion get involved in the offense as well. Obviously, He's been a core part of the special teams unit since he got called up to varsity, and then has been a core member of the defense as well. Really getting in the mix on offense this week in particular, too. Catching that touchdown pass. Got a couple wide receiver runs as well, which was very fun to watch. Just talk about, his involvement in the offense this week and what you guys want to see from him against Pennsauken as well.
I'll tell you what, Xavion is just scratching the surface. Very talented player. Not only is he fast, he's dynamic, he's elusive, and he runs beautiful routes, man. He really runs his routes really well. And not only that, but he's putting in the time in the film room. So he's picking up on these little intangibles that maybe people might overlook, whereas he really hones in. He listens to the coaching, and he displays it come game day. I mean, that was a beautiful 39-yard touchdown pass by, Tyrell to Xavion. And it was almost as if, just like you said, he flicked a wrist. He just put it up there in stride, didn't lose a step, and he's in the end zone. So Xavier is the type of player that, any team would love to have, but we're now utilizing him in a lot of different ways, as you saw. Even in the run game, we'll utilize him. There's a lot more to see out of Xavier.
We saw a lot out of Nasir Lewis this week as well, really being that bruiser back, in between the tackles, and utilized him a lot in the running game this week. Talk about just his involvement in the offense this week, what went into that decision as well, and then just what you saw from him being able to grind out those tough yards, especially in, kind of colder weather conditions as well, and then rain picks up a little bit in the fourth quarter. So to use, his bruiser back ability, if you will, throughout this game, what went into just his overall involvement, and what did you guys like from his performance?
So Nasir Lewis, a downhill runner, he's going to get you, those tough yardage when you need it. And this kid, he's young, but I'll tell you what, he has a heart of gold, man. He comes to play every week. He comes to play. As far as us, looking at other things that maybe he can bring to the table. Right now, we're happy where he is, where he's developing. We know what he does well, and we keep putting him in situations to do well. So the main thing with Nasir, as well as all our backs, is ball security. We stress ball security. We can't do nothing without that ball, so we got to secure that. And as far as, him maybe being utilized in other aspects of our offensive package, that's something that, he'll matriculate into. But right now we're very happy where he is. And as far as all the backs are concerned, it really don't matter which back is out there. They're even our smallest back in Cephas is going to run between the tackles. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to get outside. Even with maybe the quote-unquote slowest back, it doesn't matter. We're going to put them in spots to win. We're going to put them in spots to succeed. And, we can't be happier with, in what Nasir Lewis is doing for us right now.
And it did feel like with the involvement that Nasir had in this game, and, using Xavier and Mason Afanador as those wide receiver kind of runs as well, it gave Josh time off of his feet too, where the past couple weeks he's had to be a 3-down back and kind of carry the load of the running back room. He got his touchdown in this one, but you didn't have to utilize him the entire game, and I think that's going to benefit him this upcoming week and throughout the playoffs, and especially in that Millville game as well.
Absolutely. So, we're being a lot smarter in that sense, where we know what we have in the back, staple. We know what we have, so we've got to utilize all their strengths. And I think that, in our OC and Coach Hendricks, he's seeing that as well. So we don't have to go ahead and have this, bell cow of a back when we have 4 or 5 guys that can each contribute in their own way. So we're doing our due diligence to make sure that everybody stays as healthy as possible, especially entering these, playoff rounds.
And for Coach Hendricks, it felt like he was having a ton of fun in this game, to kind of just be loose, be himself, be the creative mind that he is too. It felt like this was the most fun he's had all year, because he was really able to open up the playbook for himself in terms of what you guys have in there, and really just kind of let loose and be free and have fun. And no matter what happened, you were able to bounce back and, say something didn't work. The very next play, you capitalized on something not working.
Absolutely. Again, as far as my OC and Coach Dwayne Hendricks and my DC and Clifton Smith, I let them do their thing. We're talking about grown men with grown credentials. Grown credentials. Come on. I think they're more than qualified to go ahead and utilize all those experiences that they've gone through their lives and their football history to go ahead and come up with these packages for us, either offensively or defensively, and we can succeed using their packages. So I don't try to delve into their business unless I really have to. I let them go ahead and be creative and let loose, and you saw Coach Hendricks letting loose on that EHT game.
You have Batman and Robin. He was kind of like the Joker this week. Just, throwing all the cards out there ready to roll.
He had the playbook open.
It was very fun.
It should be like that. He should be allotted to be able to use that playbook and manipulate it in any way, shape, or form. And like I told you, to him, Chris Gilbert, you got Mike Wimbish, that three-headed monster, and then you got Coach Vizo as well. We really don't talk about. He's like I always call him the quarterback whisperer. He has a way. Coach Chris Vizo has a way of getting the best out of these kids mentally. He really has a knack for easing their minds and bringing them down to a point where they can function a lot better during the game. So very proud of my whole offensive crew. They're doing a great job, as well as my defensive crew.
And for you guys to now have pitched 2 shutouts
right.
at Catone Stadium, knowing that crowd comes out no matter what the weather conditions are,
right.
no matter what day of the week it is,
right.
It's safe to say that there is certainly a home field advantage at Catone Stadium once again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vineland community, for coming out, supporting our kids. Again, I can't say enough. They need that support, and you guys are standing right there with them. And kudos to you guys too. I appreciate it.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to finish recapping this matchup against the H team. We're going to dive into the final regular season game of the season at Pennsauken. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have a word from our sponsor. This is Guzman's Gridiron on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. This episode of Guzman's Gridiron is brought to you proudly by Allen Associates. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belts, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. Whether you're part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Our family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can now easily learn more and access our services by visiting our brand new website, AllenAssoc.com. That's AllenAssoc.com. Link is also in the description of this episode. So join the family and let us help you secure your future. Contact Allen Associates today by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. We want to thank Allen Associates for being a proud partner of Guzman's Gridiron, the official Vineland High School football coaches show on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. Now, let's get back to the show. And welcome back, everybody. Big thank you to our sponsors. So, Coach, overall, a 38-0 win. There's not much negative that you can take away from that. But, watching the film this week, what are some things that stood out? And overall, how would you kind of grade this game across the board for you, your staff, and the team?
I think that an honest overall grade for this week would be a B+. And that's being very honest. You can see the score for what it is, right? You see, all right, 38-0, you got a goose egg. Come on, Coach, how can that not be an A+? Well, we critique these kids and our jobs as well, like a knife, okay? So in that being said, a lot of mistakes were still made. Even us as a staff made some, mistakes there that maybe in a playoff situation, a playoff game, maybe that'll cost us the game. Okay, so today in film and install, it was a lot of, just, yes, be excited. We got a goose egg. It was 38-0. Great job on both ends. Great job on special teams. However, look at this wrong that we did. Look at this wrong that we did. So we didn't really hone in so much on the good. We went ahead. We let them know, look, you guys performed. You did your thing. However, now let's look at what we can make better for the following game. So that's where our mindset was. We made sure the kids understood that we're not bringing them from this high point down again. We want them to open their eyes to the little things. I always say this, right? The little things that take care of the big things later. The big thing being hopefully getting a chip. We could be that dark horse that comes in and
get in the dance.
Yeah, we just need to get in the dance, and these kids know that now. They know that they could succeed at a high level. We went through a gauntlet all year in strength of schedule. So there's nothing real, how could I put it, new, if you will, that they're going to jump into and be like, oh, Coach, we don't know how to handle this. No, you guys have seen it at different levels of play. Now we got to just go ahead, handle our business, execute, and make sure that every time we step on the field, it's a business-like mentality, and we're going to go ahead and try to get this W.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it too. You look at two of those games early in the season, we could be talking about a 4-win football team at this point.
Absolutely.
So if you continue to just hone in on the things that are those little things that'll pay off in the end, who's to say what could happen?
Right.
Just get in the dance.
Absolutely, and that's why it's been such a focal point for us as coaches to understand that it is nice to win. It's great. It's a great feeling. However, you've got to build off of not just the win, but all of those little miscues. They've got to be corrected if you want to go ahead and be later in that postseason with those big boy teams.
How much of an energy switch was practice today, knowing that you're coming off a win during the weekend, the homecoming festivities and everything there?
Right.
How much of a fun, new energy was there in the building today?
The energy was great. The kids are happy. Like I said, it's nice to walk in a film room and the kids are lit up. That's that intrinsic value that, money can't give you that feeling. It's those faces smiling back at you, knowing that, hey, they put trust in us as a coaching staff. We put trust in them as the players because we can't play no more. And everything got executed and done to the point where, yes, we got the W. And we got it in front of our home crowd. And we did it not only for ourselves, but it was homecoming. These kids of Vineland deserve all this good. It was just nice. And, before I forget, Kylie, congratulations to you. Yohan, congratulations to you, man. You guys deserve it. You guys look great.
Our new
as
Ms.
well as all our
Monogram.
kids.
Yeah,
Yep.
Congrats to the entire Miss Monogram court as well. And, going into this week, obviously with the game on Saturday now, instead of the long week, you have the short week. What is kind of that preparation there, knowing that, you're coming off a game day on a Saturday, you have to turn around and play 6 days later instead of a full week?
It's business as usual, Kyle. There's no switch in our game. The kids know that. The staff knows that. So we're just doing our due diligence, making sure the game plan is airtight, which it is. We've already gone over the logistics of it on Sunday. So yeah, we're ready. We're rocking and rolling come this week. Come tomorrow, it'll be full practice on Wednesday, walk through on Thursday, and then let the sparks fly Friday night lights.
Friday, another road trip for you guys at Pennsauken this year. A team that, they've won some games this year, but in comparison, their strength of schedule not as high as your guys' strength of schedule. So obviously you don't ever want to take an opponent lightly.
Never.
But you also got to take into account that, they haven't played the upper echelon talent that you guys just went through on an entire gauntlet run throughout this middle portion of the season. What are some things that have stood out to you guys as a staff from Pennsauken this year in particular that, you got to hone in on, you got to be aware of, that they're able to execute those things well?
The biggest thing, in our opinion, they got some speedy guys back there. They have a lefty quarterback, so the ball comes out, a little different. But other than that, it's about playing football, executing, X's and O's, and blocking and tackling. My old coach used to say, Coach France, it all boils down to blocking and tackling, son. So, again, we're looking at mistake-free football, executing on all three phases of the game, and making sure that, we don't get too high, we don't get too low, we stay in that pocket. And, again, we're anticipating this week again, man. It's a different feel, right? We're coming off this win, and we're all pumped up, but we also make sure that we, just keep ourselves humble and ready for what's to come on Friday.
Got to watch some of that Tua Tagovailoa film, throwing left-handed. How much does that change, from just a visual perspective as a defender playing against a left-handed quarterback?
It's different in the sense that, again, the ball comes out different. His first read isn't going to be to the right. He opens up, it's to the left, So it's in that regard, it's different, but it's still football. It's still a football getting thrown. It's just, the dynamics of us where the linebackers are opening up, where the D-backs are opening up. It's not the typical right-handed quarterback. That's the only difference. Other than that, we're playing football, man.
And I mean, from a pressure situation, too, because obviously quarterback's blind side switches up now, too, with a left-handed quarterback. Does that make you want to, adjust anything along the defensive line and maybe, throughout the game cycle through anything, switch guys on either end, or is it still kind of business as usual?
Business as usual, man. Both ends that we have can get to the quarterback, and they've shown it. So it doesn't matter, and we've already faced a lefty quarterback this year, so it doesn't matter what side we're coming from. And like I said, I mentioned this in the paper, we're playing carefree football. We don't, we're not no upper echelon team, but we're no slouch either. No slouch whatsoever. We play every team hard. So every team that's confronted us, even their coaching staff afterwards let us know, look, guys, you're getting better every week. You guys are right there. Keep working, and that's what we're doing. We're just working every week to get better, and it shows every week that we are getting better. So again, playing carefree football right now, in the time that we're at, as far as our schedule is pretty cool. So those that are out there about to play us, they're the ones that gotta be on the lookout, not us. We're playing football and enjoying it, and the kids are having fun doing it.
How valuable is it to have film of your defense playing against a left-handed quarterback from earlier in the season to use as a teaching tool and a learning tool from what you guys did against that quarterback earlier in the year to what you want to fix and correct against another left-handed quarterback as well defensively?
It's nice in the sense that we know how to adjust our drops. We know how to adjust our defenses accordingly. So in that sense, it's nice to have, some prior film with a lefty quarterback. But again, it all boils down to, blocking, tackling, and execution of your game plan. So we're just hoping that we're on the winning side come this Friday.
Offensively, what are some things that you guys want to build upon from this game against EHT that you just had and take that into this matchup against Pennsauken? What are some things that you'll have to adjust because of how their defense kind of schemes themselves?
I'll tell you one thing. What we're looking for in the maturation process of our team is not only the offensive side of the ball or the defensive or special teams, but we're looking at an overall maturation process to happen for our kids. There's a lot of things that we had to clean up on all three phases. I'm telling you, again, score will tell you one thing, but film tells you a whole different story. So we're just hoping to go ahead, clean up what we need to, come this week, and then put everything together and hopefully paint a masterpiece come Friday.
Business as usual, obviously, even
Absolutely.
though it is a road trip. What is kind of the mindset now coming off of a win to then hit the road, going up against a team that you guys don't have too much familiarity with? Obviously, they were added to the schedule last year for the first time. So it is kind of a newer age opponent for you guys as a whole. But what is kind of the mindset for final regular season game? Let's go out with a bang and handle our business on the road.
Well, the biggest thing is these kids know that this has playoff implications. So the kids are biting at the bit to get on that field and, perform. But I tell them, like, listen, stay in the moment, especially my seniors. Stay in the moment because once it's gone, man. So, they're understanding what I'm telling them. They're okay, coach, yeah, like, just enjoy every day you're on that practice field. Enjoy being with your teammates because these are lifelong, friendships that you make, So I think that's the main centerpiece for our message for the kids, just to stay in the moment, work with each other to what? Ultimately get this win come Friday and proceed on to the postseason. So,
and how much, if at all, any emphasis is it to not look ahead, too? Be dialed in for this particular game, even though there, are playoff implications. You don't want to look ahead to that because it's not a foregone conclusion. You don't want to look ahead to Thanksgiving because that's still a month and a half away.
Absolutely.
How much is it to kind of just be tunnel vision on Pennsauken as a whole to make sure that, as Jalen Hurts says, the main thing stays the main thing and you guys come away with a win?
So we preach to the kids every game that we've had this year. We never look ahead. There is no looking ahead to whatever we have on the schedule for that week is what we hone in on. It's the only name that you hear during the whole practice session. You won't hear, oh, but if we play this team well, then maybe we can go ahead and play, Washington Township a little bit. No. It's, Clearview. It's Oakcrest. It's whoever we have on schedule. That's the only team you keep hearing throughout the whole week. Once we get that game out of our, hat, next game approaches, that's the team. So we really have these kids focused in on team by team and moment by moment. Stay in the moment is the big message.
How excited are you guys as a staff to kind of just continue to see Tank and the rest of this offense kind of progress? It seems like week by week, everything started to click a little bit more and a little bit more consistently too. Obviously, the one hiccup being the Holy Spirit game. But like we mentioned after that, they're the number 4 team in the state. You're kind of foregone conclusion going to experience some hiccups in those situations, especially when you're throwing Tank out there for his second full game at quarterback.
Right.
But to see the progressions that they've had, especially this past week, what excites you guys the most about what this team can build upon from a win like this, from that confidence boost like this, and go out and try to replicate and improve upon a 38-0 win offensively?
With Tank at the helm, it makes things a lot easier for us. He's like a general out there. He knows exactly where everyone belongs. So you'll see him dictating. He's a lot more comfortable in that position now. So it's nice to see him mature, as the new QB for our football team, and he takes it, like a grain of salt. Like, yeah, coach, I'll go ahead and I'll dictate to the kids more. It's just neat to see that, because when we threw him into the first game, you didn't see none of this, and it was just like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to perform as best I can, coach. No problem. Second game, he's a little looser. All right. You may have seen his finger go up once to tell somebody something. This game, he's bang, bang. You're up. You're back. He's an amazing kid, man. He's an amazing kid.
I can't wait to hear his audible calls this week.
Dude.
He's going to be out there
Don't
yelling,
be surprised.
Green 48.
Don't be surprised if he makes his rendition of Mr. Payton himself. Razor, razor, razor.
Omaha.
You don't know, but that kid is a smart football player. So, again, we're waiting and anticipating in the wins for Friday.
And, we didn't mention at the top, but, coming out of this EHT game seemed like relatively clean injury-wise. How's everything on the injury front as a whole? How's everybody healing? Obviously you have some nicks and bruises along the way, but how's the injury front looking going into Pennsauken?
Going into Pennsauken, we're looking pretty good. You saw Carter out there, so his back wasn't, tightening up on him like that. He received everything that he needed to receive. As far as everybody else, they're regular nicks, and after a game, nothing crazy. So, knock on wood again, we're anticipating going in 100% healthy.
We're going to talk a little more Pennsauken, but obviously, we talk about our alumni every week too, and both pals playing on a Saturday. Tank played a little bit longer than Tyreem this week.
Yes.
Let's talk about this controversial targeting call, because you and I know, are on the same page here. I know about 99% of the country was on the same page with us. In no way, shape, or form should that have been called a targeting play. I showed it to my mom. She was like, there's no way that's targeting.
No.
Gets called targeting.
No.
Tyreem gets ejected from the game.
Horrible.
When he's on his way to having a phenomenal game against an old-school powerhouse in Michigan State. Just a disastrous call by those referees.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm looking right at the camera. Referees, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely ashamed of yourselves. You took a young man, okay, that not only did he do everything perfectly right, he kept his head up. He saw what he was tackling. Okay, he used his shoulder, his left shoulder. You could slow it down in every increment. It was a picture-perfect blitz by 22. Picture perfect. I mean, I was out of my mind when I saw that play. I mean, I could not believe that the refs would call that targeting. Targeting is when you hit with the crown of your helmet. Mm-hmm. When you're
spearheading.
Yeah, you're spearing somebody. No. This man had his head up, shoulder hit, great crack in the backfield. I mean, that stadium lit up. All in all, to get what? A late flag. You're off. What? How they did that? Why? Again, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, okay? But guess what? The ball don't lie, don't it? The ball don't lie. So, sorry, Michigan State. But I called it here, didn't I?
Took that L.
Shiano had his boys ready. I called it on the last show. He was going to have his boys ready, and what a win. What a win. But, Tyreen, just hang in there, man. Hang in there. There's going to be a lot of controversial calls in your life. This was one of them. But, you know, as Kyle put it, 99.9% of the nation saw that it was a legal hit.
And you're going to tell us that he's not going to use that as motivation for this next game?
Oh, man. He better, because I'd have pictures of it all over my room.
I got to look up here who Rutgers University is playing this coming week.
They better be ready.
To set the scenes here for everybody to know that Tyreen Powell is going to come back with a vengeance this week. As it looks like Rutgers is playing the University of Indiana.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. He's going to be firing on all cylinders, man. Can I make another prediction? This man's going to have 2 picks. Not to mention a couple sacks. Get ready. Indiana, get ready.
Double-digit tackles is a lock.
That's going to happen. That's automatic, but he's going to make some plays, and there'll be 2 crucial picks that he'll have. You watch.
Yeah, he's going to be back with event. He's going to be like an event.
He's going to be everywhere. Listen, very few people that I've seen play the game of football can cover the amount of space and the amount of time that young man can cover. So, again, I say, good luck, Indiana. That's it. This guy's going to be firing on a whole different level. So, Dick Butkus Award, get ready, clean it up, get it nice and ready, because the man that's going to be wearing is number 22 from Rutgers. I'm telling you that right now.
Congrats to Rutgers and Coach Shiano on a big-time win against Michigan State.
100% congratulations.
Pop was in town.
Yes, he was.
Had the mini bye this week as they played on Thursday Night Football. Surprised you.
Yes. Yes. I'm sitting in the office with Coach Schifalalio, and I get a FaceTime call, and who is it? It's Pop. and it was just a funny, cat and mouse game. I'm like, all right, so where are you? I'm in the side door. All right, so I run to the weight room. I go out the side door in the back. You're not here. The other side door. I run back inside. Go out the other side door, and lo and behold, there's Isaiah Pacheco in his glory, man. Just good to see him. That smile, it's infectious, man. And just to know that he's okay, he's safe, it brings me all the joy in the world, We talked for a little bit. He's healthy. He's happy. And, we're looking to have, maybe do dinner when he gets his bye week and what have you coming up. So I'm just proud of that man. He just never changes. He's him, through and through, like I always say. Not to mention, Demby and Mr. Powell himself. They're just good dudes, man. Really good dudes. But yeah, that little guy
snuck up.
And I
on
say
you.
Little guy very loosely, but it's like he's growing too.
I know.
He's like 6'1" now.
It's absurd.
They talk about
and that's without
5'11".
cleats.
He is not 5'11", or I'm shrinking. Something's happening here, because I'm like, Papa, are you getting taller? He goes, cuz I think I'm getting taller. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at you. I don't know.
It's that Kansas City barbecue.
I guess it's that barbecue. I may have needed a lot of that barbecue when I was growing up. Because I grow this way. I don't grow that way. But anyway, but he came by, and it was just nice to see him. And then I had to shoo him along because it was about to be the Pop love
Gave him the
fest.
Taylor Swift treatment.
Yeah, I was like, go, get in your car.
And while Pop was visiting you, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift made an appearance on Saturday Night Live this week.
Isn't that? I mean, it's for real, man. I think that I know it's not official, I guess. Like, right?
Well, this week,
or is it?
this week was kind
know.
of showing signs that it might be, because they had a nice little dinner date at the SNL after party at Nobu in New York.
Okay. Well, maybe it's official now, but I think they're good people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they really match up really well. She, like I said from day one. She's got her money. He's got his money. None of them need each other for none of that. So if they're spending time with each other, it's because they really find each other, to be what is that?
Compatible.
Compatible. There's the word. Thank you. So yeah, good for them.
And kids cover your. They're a good-looking couple. They look good together.
Yeah, they look good together, and I think they feed off each other's vibe, because that woman also has big platforms that she performs on. So it's good not only for them, but it's good for the whole football spectrum, because it's bringing so much light on the NFL now, as you talked previously in our previous podcast, where you would see a lot of these Hollywood stars at NBA games. Now they're starting to filter in the NFL realm. So, kudos to both of them. I think they're great people.
And it might be, the Swifties that get the NFL to switch the turf out for the actual grass.
Never know.
The way that they were complaining when Travis Kelce got injured against the Vikings, they said it felt like they were like unionizing to go after the NFL and say we need to change this now.
Listen. Whatever they do, like I said last time, I think it's just to make sure that they protect what they have, their assets. So if they do switch it, good. Good for the game. No problem with me. Just please don't water it down anymore. No more crazy flags for just going like this to a quarterback. Let him get hit. They get paid millions anyway.
And Pop's going to Germany in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's going to Germany.
How stoked is he for that?
He's very happy. I believe, yeah. I know this will be his first time ever going over there to Germany. So, it's going to be an experience for him. And the good thing about Pop is I know that he's going to take that experience, right, and he's going to do something special over there for them kids. He's always about the kids, man. So there's going to be kids all over the place speaking in a language he has no idea. But I'll tell you what, Pop will put on a smile. He'll sign all their autograph, anything that needs to be autographed, and it'll be good for the people of Germany to have him over there.
Pennsauken, upcoming final regular season home game. Yep. What are the expectations for you guys going into this one that you want to walk away when the clock hits 0, fourth quarter, hanging your heads high, feeling good about this performance upcoming against Pennsauken on Friday night?
I'll tell you what, the kids are stoked. They're seeing that their hard work pays off. They're also, getting this newfound energy, if you will, that, the dance ain't over. It's far from over. And this is what I keep instilling in their head. Like, you got to understand what schedule was placed before us. It was a gauntlet. So we went through some growing pains. But it truly was growing pains. We're war-tested. I think I told this one reporter, I want to say for the press, I told him, I said, we're war-tested, man. We're playing great teams week in and week out. And now it's like we've got a carefree attitude, man. So I told him, I said, it's not, because he said, so are you in any way kind of like a little apprehensive of what's to come, in the Millvilles? And I said, no. And I'm not saying it disrespectfully.
Yeah.
I know. I even told him, I know what's over there. Okay? I know what's over in all these other playoff teams, the Cherokees, and I know what's there. I know that. The kids know that. But we're not going to shy away from no one. 0 people. You will not see Vineland shy away from any team. Number 1 team, number 10, 20, it doesn't matter. We're going to play the game of football, and we're going to do it Vineland style. And that's it. That's the ball game.
Going into this game, who's the player or players that you want to see have a Ryan Maven type of step up and been waiting for it, and here's that final regular season platform for them to do it?
I'm really waiting on a staple game from Julius Wilson. I'm waiting on that staple game. I'm waiting on a staple game for Noah Cruz. There's several guys, man. Gavin Gallo. He looked pretty good. I don't know. At the end, he looked pretty good.
Look good on special teams too, man.
That man, another kid, plug and play that we talk about, can do it all. He's incredible. But yeah, if I had to pick defensively, a few guys that I would like to see a staple game from, it would be them 3 guys. And I know that they can do it on any given game day. They can do it. Offensively, I would like to see Mr. Israel Sweat have his little staple game. You know, that kid puts in a lot of time. He don't miss. He's a great, great kid. You know, um, also, Xavier hasn't showed us everything yet. So I would like to see him have a nice little game there too. Um, and yeah, the stable of backs. I want all our kids to perform well. But yeah, if I had to pick a few kids, those are the ones that I'm really waiting a staple game from.
So there it is, Pennsauken on the road, 6 p.m. kickoff
6 p.m. at Pennsauken.
on Friday at Pennsauken. Come on out, and if you can't make it, tune into the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel, youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV. It'll be myself, Rich Scarpa, on the call, so you'll have access to it on your TVs. And be sure to subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form, so you don't miss out on any episodes of Guzman's Gridiron. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia, so you get the podcast in video form every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Premieres just like live TV, so you can tune in, be in the chat with us. It's a lot of fun, so tune in 7:30 p.m. Wednesday night for the video version. And we'll see you Friday, Coach. Hopefully next week, talking about another big win, build upon this, and then we might be talking about dancing.
Listen, and I'm one to go ahead and put on the dancing shoes real quick. So let's hope that these kids really take in the moment, and I know our kids will. So come out, Vineland community, and keep supporting your kids at Vineland. They're great kids.
So big thank you to Allen Associates and the Double Eagle Saloon and Deck Bar, obviously, for hosting us and for sponsoring the podcast. And we'll see you guys next week when we're talking about wrapping up the regular season and hopefully talking about dancing into the playoffs.